Hey folks, welcome back to the Lone Pine Tarot, or of course, welcome to the channel for the very first time if you're brand new here. And as I always say, thank you so much for joining me today for our pick a card reading. And today our topic is a good old-fashioned touch base with our spirit guides. Specifically, we're asking them what they want you to know most right now. What do they need to have you here? So without further ado, let us pick our pile leaders to choose our readings with. Calling on the spirit guides for our community, please guide us to the right cards for us to pick our messages with. Thank you. Okay. Here's pile number 1. Pile number 2. And pile number 3. Okay, let's unveil the cards together, my friends. So, for pile number 1 today, your card is the Eel and Iris. For pile number 2, your leader today is the Raccoon and Sycamore. And last but not least, for pile number 3, your leader is the Salamander and Black Pepper. So as I always say, you're welcome to pause right now if you need more time to decide between these 3 different piles. If you are new to pick a card readings, I always suggest going through what I call a little meditative moment I like to guide all of us with. So close your eyes. Take in a deep cleansing breath. Imagine light filling your lungs as you do so. Then hold the breath for just a few moments. And then when you breathe back out again, open your eyes and see where they're drawn first amongst these 3 different piles. What feels right in your gut? You'll kind of, we call it an intuition. It'll be like a knowing of, okay, that's the pile for me, and that is the pile I recommend you go with. Or, as I always say, you can even just go with what looks the coolest. That works too. But whatever your method, you can drop down to the description box below or the top pinned comment beneath the video. Find the timestamp for your pile there. And I'll see you in our chat about what your spirit guides want you to know. What do they need you to know right now? Bye. Hello there, pile number 1. Welcome to your spirit guide message reading for today. And of course, as you can recall, you were drawn to the very beautiful card of the Eel and Iris. And the keyword for your pile leader today is safety. So as we always do, let's set your pile leader over here to the left to begin. And let's start with drawing both your tarot spread and a few of the oracle cards I have for us today. So calling on spirit guides for pile 1 today. What is it that you want them to know most right now? What do they need to know? Thank you. Okay, that one for sure flipped over. So we'll take that as your first card. Okay, 2, 3. Let's see, is that 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. Okay. And then let's grab the first oracle deck I had mentioned before. We're going to have some tea leaves today. And the second half of the very big deck of tea leaves. We'll see what else pops out. Okay, that one says to me, pick me, so we'll choose that one for you today, pile 1. Okay, let's look at your tea leaves first. So right off the bat, we have the tree, affairs with your family. Okay, so I see at least part of your message today, pile 1, is something to do with your family, or at the very least, if not like blood family, like your found family, of course, depending on your situation. And then your second tea leaf today is, speaking of family, you have the well. Family wishes come true. Okay, so for sure there's some sort of message with family here today for you, pile 1. Tree has the keyword family. Well has the keyword family for you. Very interesting. I am extremely curious to see what else pops up. And then remember, we do have the keyword of safety with the Eel and Iris. Very interesting. So the first tarot card that came out is the Explorer of Cups, which is the Knight of Cups in most decks. Okay. The Explorer of Cups. Then we have the Seven of Swords. Okay, a bit of a picture forming. We'll talk about that in a moment after we've revealed everything in terms at least your tarot cards. Then we've got the Hierophant reversed as the Heart of the Matter, central card. Doing something a little bit different than the people who've come before you. Seems like we have the Ace of Pentacles, all right, new opportunities in terms of finances, material things. And last but not least, we have the Ace, another Ace, but it's the Ace of Cups reversed this time as the final card. Okay, let's put everything together here so far, pile number 1. Well, for sure, right off the bat, I'm hearing something from your spirit guides about some new venture that you've been going through or trying to explore a bit more regarding something that you really want deep down or something that's really near and dear to your heart. And I say that, pile 1, because your inciting incident card, as I call the first card of this spread, is the Explorer or the Knight of Cups, as it's known in most decks. And what Knights do, pile 1, is they take action. We see the fish here heading down through the murk from the light to the dark to find this cup. So it's like you're searching for something. You're diving a little bit deeper, either into the unconscious, the subconscious, into your own heart, especially because cups are the water suit in tarot, and they tend to represent things like emotions, relationships, and I think especially because you have an overwhelming amount of cards that came out that are like family. I think it's something to do with your family that your spirit guides want to talk to you about today. I don't know if you've been having some family issues recently, or you've been having like some conflict with family, or trying to figure out how you feel about certain family things that have been going on. Maybe you've been reflecting a lot about, like, say, your childhood, or you've been reflecting a lot about like earlier past events related to your family, and it's like a soul-searching type of thing, if not a physical, literal type of searching with your family involved with whatever it is you're trying to do, or the venture that I spoke of earlier, okay? And interesting, too, is you also have, because of your pile leader, the eel. You know, we think of eels as very, at least to my understanding, they tend to hang around more in the mucky parts of freshwater. Well, I guess there's also saltwater eels. They're both in freshwater and saltwater, but in whatever water they're in, they tend to hang around. At least my understanding is more like mucky things, kind of like the mud here with this fish, searching and diving deep down. And especially with the term safety, I think maybe there's a part of this that makes you not afraid, or you're just not quite, certain about the outcome, and it's making you a little bit nervous. It's like there's a drive there of what you want to do, and you want to do it. And especially too with the well having come out, the well is like things that are deep, things that come down deep, right? As wells are dug, however far into the ground in order to reach water, right? You're reaching water, you're searching for things, you're trying to figure out the kernel of truth regarding how you feel about something. But at the same time, like I said, with the Eel and Iris, it's like you're trying to kind of find some safety with that too. So it's like you're maybe almost afraid to kind of look at that shadow. You're kind of afraid to look at that monster, so to speak. Or if it's like something like physical venture of some sort, pile 1, it's like you're not quite sure how to go about this the best way with whatever's going on with your family, okay? And 2, because you have so many aces that have popped up, you have the Ace of Pentacles upright and the Ace of Cups reversed. Aces are the beginning of each suit in tarot, and that tends to represent, pile 1, starting something new, especially towards the end of your spread here. That means like starting something new is maybe kind of like the goal here. So I don't know if you're trying a new venture of some sort with your family, like moving somewhere, or a new project with your family, maybe even adding a family member. Maybe you're thinking to have kids or something, or have a child of some sort. But what's interesting, pile 1, is that you have the Seven of Swords right after all of this exploration of emotions. We have I'll try to show it a little bit more here. It's a bit obscured because of everything crunched together on my desk. But the Seven of Swords here, we have one person, one odd one out. Okay, we have 6 swords all together in a straight line. And then we have one sword that has a cracked line behind it, okay? It's like the odd one out. It also tends to represent, traditionally, pile one, something to do with someone trying to be sneaky with something, someone trying to get away with something. It's kind of known as like a trickster card. Like someone's trying to be sneaky is the term I lightheartedly use with the Seven of Swords. Sneaky. So I don't know if maybe someone in your family has been throwing a wrench into these plans or these wishes or the thing that you're trying to do, or maybe if, this is a past family thing that you've been trying to either reconcile or mentally, emotionally process. It was because of like something that someone did, kind of sneaky. Okay, it was something that was maybe under the covers. It was a little bit more on the subtle side. Maybe that's why it's so hard to even dive deep down and understand it, pile one, because maybe it was something really subtle. But what I'm hearing, because of the Hierophant reversed being your central card, I call it the heart of the matter in the 5-card spread I like to use. The Hierophant reversed is bucking tradition. Okay, so what your, or also it can mean kind of like letting go of authority as well, because it can technically represent a spiritual authority figure, because traditionally the Hierophant is like the Pope, kind of, right? It's like a spiritual leader of some sort. So it's like, yeah, either breaking tradition or letting go of authority. Maybe it's kind of reconciling things with authority figures from your childhood is part of this. Maybe they were the ones kind of doing something sneaky or wasn't like the best thing ever, okay, that kind of scarred you a little bit. Because that's another thing I think of with that Seven of Swords, with that crooked line behind it through the ice. It's like something's scarred. Something's creating scars, or it's, we think of the word or the term crooked as in like literally we call someone crooked. They're not, straight edge. They're not on the straight line. They're more kind of underhanded, right? So getting back to basics here with the Hierophant reverse, though, pile one, it's like trying to break that tradition, trying to do things a different way. I almost kind of hear with this breaking generational trauma or cycles. I don't know if you are someone, especially with all these aces that popped out here at the end, speaking of new beginnings, who is either trying to or already has accomplished a lot in your life in terms of breaking generational cycles. Say, maybe there's a lot of alcoholism in your family. Maybe that's where the cups comes from, right? Cups in tarot can sometimes represent drinking, right? Drinking a cup. Same thing with the well. It's like, water, bringing up water. And you have the Ace of Cups over here as well. Or it could be like maybe you struggled with that before and you're breaking it, or you're like the first one in your family that hasn't had an alcohol problem, just as an example. That might not apply to every single one of you. But in either case, whatever it is you're trying to breaking, whatever you're trying to do, your spirit guides are saying we're really proud of you for breaking that cycle or for trying something new that hasn't been done before. We're really proud of you for what it is you're trying to accomplish here, because this wasn't working before, and you're doing the hard work. You're doing very difficult work, pile one. That's another thing that your spirit guides want to commend you for, I'm seeing, with everything that's going on here, because this is not easy, right? A Knight of Cups with a Seven of Swords, not easy. You're taking action with your emotions regarding some sort of deception, okay? Those are the hard things in life, especially when family is involved with all these, your tea leaf fortunes both said family, right? And two, you have good tidings here in the future. So if you're asking or wondering, especially if you've been asking from your spirit guides, give me a sign that this is the right path to go down, or give me a sign that this is going to work out. You have pretty good outcomes here. There's a little bit of an asterisk here with the Ace of Cups reversed. I'll explain that in a second, but I do at least want to at first talk about the well. Family wishes come true. You're well on your way, excuse the pun, sorry, to doing the right thing, to getting to the right outcome that you're looking for, the positive outcome. Same thing too in the near future. You have the Ace of Pentacles, which is a new opportunity in terms of career or finance or physical things like the health or the home. Okay. If you're looking to move, that's a great sign. If you're looking to do something regarding, improving your finances or improving your career, that's also a really great sign. So I think on top of all of this, what's been going on, your spirit guides want to give you a little bit of a heads up of like, hey, there's a really good opportunity coming your way in terms of the realm of material things. Like I said, career, home, money, things like that. Especially if what you're trying to seek with this family thing, if it's like a tangible goal for some of you, that's a really good sign that you're well on your way to receiving an opportunity that will help propel that faster and get you on the path that you want to go on with this outcome, okay? Now, as I said, I'll explain the Ace of Cups reversed later, and that's the time now. So the Ace of Cups reversed is a card often about either seeking new emotions, seeking new relationships, okay? Because it is the element of, water, aka emotions and relationships, combined with beginnings, combined with being in reversed with tarot, okay? So when we think about the symbolism of that, right? We think about, my cup is empty. We think about, oh, my cup has been literally tipped over. It has been spilled out, okay? So if you have been struggling with anything in your life recently with new relationships, maybe that's part of what's actually been fueling all of this, pile one. Maybe you're trying to fix all of this stuff or make progress on whatever this is, because that will help you improve your ability to make new relationships, or to at least see things in a new way when it comes to your emotions or your feelings about your family or everything that's been going on. Although there is something here with it being reversed. I'm actually going to draw just one more card for you, pile one, on this particular Ace of Cups, because I want to know from your spirit guides precisely how to fix that Ace of Cups. Basically so far they're saying, well, you're doing all the good work. You're doing a great job here with this, and a new opportunity is coming soon in terms of the material. But spirit guides, one more card on the Ace of Cups reversed. What's your guidance on that? Thank you. Okay. I'm feeling this one right here. Let's take a gander at that. We have, the Tower. Okay, and the Tower, pile one, in tarot is all about pivotal change. It's all about, sometimes, and this might sound scary, don't run away from the reading when I say this, sometimes it can mean the disaster card. Just hold on. It can also sometimes mean pivotal change, that even though it's a bit chaotic, it's for the better, okay? It's like, something was built on shaky foundations, and so it's really scary to try to tear it all down, because you're like, well, this is what I have, this is how it's been built up. However, by it being knocked down, it can be built back better again, okay? That's the silver lining of the Tower. So that being the, a little bit of a confirmation of what they meant about the Ace of Cups reversed, pile one. If you've been going through a lot of emotional turbulence right now and it's been affecting your ability to make new relationships, or as I said, the Ace of Cups reversed can also mean having struggles with trying to distinguish a new ways to feel about things, okay? Just know that all of the chaos that you're going through right now is to fix those issues, okay? So as difficult as it is, your spirit guides are commending you for everything that you've been weathering with the Tower here, because Tower moments in life aren't fun, but they're always necessary, pile one. They're always necessary. And it might be scary in the interim. You might be right now feeling like, oh my God, I have all this stuff I gotta deal with. I gotta, emotionally process all this. I gotta fix this thing, But remember, that lays the foundation for that Ace of Cups finally turning upright and new emotions and new, better relationships entering your life, okay? Instead of, the murk that was before and the deception that was before that we talked about. You're breaking traditions, and it's not easy, but it's a good, noble goal in the end. You'll make it through. And remember, family wishes come true with the well. And also, that Ace of Pentacles means a new opportunity in terms of the material popping up here soon, okay? So, we do also have some other cards, though. So we have two more decks for oracles. Let's grab your soul oracle. Maybe final pieces of advice from spirit or other things they want to bring up from your guides. Any other things you want to say, spirit guides, for pile one today? Excuse me. Yes, that one. Okay. Learning. Okay, so pile one, you see here, it probably isn't too difficult to see on camera. We have a woman here with her hands on her face, but what she has is two other hands blinding her. So the keywords are rejected and accepting. You're taking blinders off, pile one. I wonder if that's why it's so difficult. Your spirit guides are saying it's because you're finally seeing something for the first time in your life the way that it was supposed to be seen, rather than in a distorted way. You're learning, you're figuring out, what do I want to reject in my life, aka this emotional stuff with your family or whatever's going on over here. You're learning to let that go, and then you also have accepting, as in okay, I'm going to accept what happened and I'm going to keep moving forward. Yes, this shaped me, Yes, it might still affect me to this day. And it's, I'm never going to tell you as a tarot reader pile 1 to, never feel bad about bad things that happened, okay? Because that's just not realistic, okay? We always have scars, just like the scar behind the lone sword on the 7 of Swords, okay? They make us who we are, right? You aren't you without your scars. But at the same time, you're well on your way towards making progress of learning and getting through this and processing these things and learning what to reject in your life, what to let go that no longer serves you, as well as what to accept in your life, what does serve you. Okay, you're taking the blinders off and your spirit guides are really proud. I mean, pile 1, you're doing, like, this is really, it almost feels like shadow work type stuff that's going on here. It feels like you're doing a lot of the really difficult things that a lot of people shy away from and they just never deal with in their life. So kudos to you, pile 1. This is difficult stuff. And that's why your spirit guides want to talk to you about it today, because they're like, oh my God, we need to, like, reach out and tell pile 1, you're doing a great job. We understand everything that you're going through. And this is the stuff that spirit guides love to see, pile 1. They love to see growth. They love to see learning, right? As chaotic as a tower can be, it's for the better good. You're learning. You're calling from your life the things that don't serve you anymore, the things that you don't need. It's like going on in the future with less baggage. As you deserve to walk into the future with less baggage, pile 1. You don't have to walk into the future with a heavy burden, and no one should have to. So your spirit guides are saying, why not let it go? Okay, that one right there we have a bit of a self-esteem message too. Number 20, enough. You were born enough. So I wonder if part of the emotional stuff you've been going through, pile 1, is self-esteem related things, as I just mentioned. I wonder if maybe part of what was going on was the deception of the belief that you weren't enough. That can be very, I'm not a psychologist, but that can be very pivotal in our childhood of whether or not we feel worthy based on how our family treats us when we're young, okay? If we're ignored, if we're neglected, if we're hurt when we're young, that can leave a very long-lasting impression upon our brains and our souls into thinking, well, we aren't worth anyone's time because to our loved ones we weren't either, which is really sad, pile 1, but that happens a lot, that, and it doesn't mean that you aren't enough. You are enough. It's just that it's really hard to shake those impressions because it's at such a time when your brain, when you're young, is so malleable to those things, and it's really unfortunate that happens, but part of this journey for you, pile 1, is learning, yes, I am enough. Is learning, I don't have to feel less than. Okay, so if there's any direction, like maybe if you've been listening to this reading so far and you're like, well, what the heck emotional thing are you talking about? It's a journey of self-esteem. Of understanding the esteem that was robbed from you and you reclaiming it, as is your birthright. To feel like you are enough. Also, I really like this particular depiction of this card because not only is it angelic, makes me, she's got angel wings, right? But she's also kind of guarding a door. She's taking up space as well. Look at the way that she holds her arms out. And she has her hands by her ears like, you're going to hear me, I'm going to take up space. I deserve to take up space. Look at the vibrant color she's wearing as well. Like, look at me. I deserve to exist and to be noticed and to be loved and things like that. So I love this deck in general. It's a fantastic oracle deck. Lantern Oracle, if you're ever interested in it. Will always be my favorite oracle deck, at least so far. But this card especially is very beautiful. So you were born enough. You're well on your way there, pile 1. Your spirit guides are commending you. So just to summarize everything so far, this reading, it's not so much about tangible things. So I hope maybe, you weren't really coming necessarily to this reading just for, like, tangible things. I mean, although there is that little opportunity in terms of finances or career that we talked about with the Ace of Pentacles, right? But at the same time, pile 1, this is more what your spirit guides want to talk to you about today is a spiritual journey of sorts, an emotional journey, okay? You doing the really hard shadow work, you doing the really hard spiritual work to work through all of these family-related issues, okay? To overcome what was a betrayal of some sort with the 7 of Swords, okay? And breaking that tradition, pulling the blinders off, learning, getting through the chaos, finding new beginnings and new dawns after you realize yes, I am enough, okay? So I think if you are scared at all about what you might find if you delved into this more, like we talked about safety with your Eel and Iris, I would not be scared, pile 1. Because the only thing, I mean, it might look like a monster to you. It might look like a shadow in a closet, as we do when we're speaking of, you know, the way children see things. But really what it is golden things hidden underneath the shadow. Really important things for you to know, okay? Really important things for you to learn from, so that you do feel like you are enough, and you do feel safe, and your family wishes do come true, and breaking cycles and whatever it is else that you're trying to achieve in life, okay? Because it doesn't only just affect your family, it also affects the other things in your life if you don't have good enough self-esteem. You know, sometimes you'll reject the ability to try things because you'll think, well, I'm not good enough for that. Why would I even try in the first place? Which is self-defeating attitude, but, you know, based on your psychological imprint, that's very normal for some people, you know. I've been there, done that myself, pile 1, and I think a lot of people have, so you're not alone. That's another thing. You're not alone with this, pile 1. Especially if some of you way down in the comments down below, I'm sure a lot of you will say, yep, this was me, and then you'll realize just how many people have gone through this. Like, you're not, I mean, it's kind of sad to think about that fact that, I mean, we wish nobody would go through these things, right? But at the same time, it's also comforting to find community and understand, yes, other people understand what I've been through. They get me, you know? So, they're commending you. It's a pat on the back reading today, pile 1. It's also a keep going. Even when things get chaotic, you're going the right way. In fact, when you find chaos, it means you're going the right way. Because after the storm comes the rainbow, comes the dawn, towards a life with less heavy burden is how I would phrase it, okay? So, that is your reading for today, my wonderful pile number 1. A little bit more of a philosophical, spiritual one, as I said. If you liked it and it helped you, and of course, if it resonated, please like the video. Please comment down below. Please subscribe to Lone Pine Tarot if you have not done so yet. That just helps me out a little bit, which helps me provide more readings for free for both you and others in the future, and keeps the dream of this channel alive. And as I always say is our tradition, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, a healing rest of your day. Okay, especially with family stuff. And I hope to see you in the next reading. Bye, pile 1. Hello there, pile number 2. Welcome today to your pick a card reading about what your spirit guides need you to know right now. And of course, as you can recall, you were drawn to the very cute Raccoon and Sycamore card with the keyword of curiosity. So let's begin by setting your pile leader over by the pine cone, as always, to the left. And we're going to start with a tarot spread as well as one of the oracle decks today to begin the reading to get more context on what your spirit guides want to speak to you about. So calling your spirit guides today, would you please come forward for pile 2 and tell us, what do you want to tell them most right now? What do they need to know? Okay, that was quite quick. We've got 2 already. That was the 4 of Pentacles reversed with the 7 of Cups. Let's draw 3 more for our typical 5 card spread. Okay. So 1, 2, and we need just 1 more. There we go. And then we will draw your first oracle deck, as I promised, with tea leaves today. Well, that was a very poor shuffle at the end there. There we go. Okay. I'm not always the best about shuffling this particular deck. Okay, that's a bit better. I did better with the second half. So we already have the chair filled. Okay, I'll take that first one that just popped out then. Chair filled, which is someone new is entering your life. We also have the egg, which is success assured with good plans and hard work. Very interesting, pile number 2. And then let's reveal the rest of your tarot cards. So the third one today, your heart of the matter, is the 6 of Wands. Okay. Maybe we've been seeking victory with something, especially when it comes to parsing out our dreams from reality, making the imagined tangible. Interesting. Then we've got the Guardian or the Queen in most decks of Pentacles. Okay, so maybe a bit of a financial theme here too. You have 2 Pentacles, 4 and the Queen. And then last but not least, we have the 9 of Swords reversed as the outcome. Great outcome to get with this card in reversal, pile number 2. Okay, so actually kind of a multivariate message for you today. There's some financial messages. There's some messages about something you've been trying to seek victory with, as well as something in the end is resolving in order to reduce a stress or an anxiety that you've been feeling lately. That's why I said the 9 of Swords reversed is a great outcome, because it means nightmares released, anxieties reduced, worries lessened, things like that. So, yeah, someone new entering your life, success assured with good plans and hard work. Okay. So first thing I want to explore here, the first theme, is there's something that you've been working really hard on that you're really, really close to getting success with, pile number 2. It's going to differ for every single one of you. I want to say it's probably something to do with either your job or your finances, because you have so many Pentacles cards today. You have the Queen and you have the 4 Pentacles, okay? Especially in terms of areas where you've wanted more money to come in, because you have the 4 Pentacles reversed as your inciting incident, or your first card, I like to call it. And what that represents typically is the release of money, okay? 4 Pentacles upright is money held. 4 of Pentacles reversed, as you got it, is money let go of, okay? So if you have been seeking better finances recently, in terms of, I don't know, like you're waiting for a loan of some sort, or you're waiting for an inheritance to come in, or you're waiting for some sort of, like getting paid for something that you haven't been paid for yet in terms of work, your spirit guides are saying that's coming soon, okay? That's one area that will reduce your anxiety. It's also, I can tell you, something you've been working hard on because of the good plans and hard work aspect of the egg card. Success is mentioned here, but it's also mentioned in the 6 of Wands. We literally have the crown of the laurel leaves, right? And the 6 of Wands, of course, typically represents being victorious with things. Okay, so there's success in that area of your life. That's the first thing your spirit guides want to tell you about. You also have a very interesting... I'm sorry, one more thing. And on top of that, it's not just a success over the release of funds of some sort. It's also a success in making you feel internally secure here with the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles is the feminine mastery of Earth, which is feeling like we are nurtured by our finances, are nurtured by our career. Okay, so those feelings are going to be coming in a little bit more here too soon. So feeling more supported, feeling more nurtured by the amount of money that you're making, things with your job, okay? Or if you don't currently have a job and you're seeking, that would be pretty good tidings for you getting a job soon that you've interviewed for, right? Things like that. So, fantastic message, number 1. Number 2, though, we have a really interesting set of messages otherwise. We have the 7 of Cups as one card, the curiosity of the Raccoon and the Sycamore, okay? And then we also have the chair filled, someone new is entering your life. Now, when we think of raccoons, pile 2, we always think of them as, well, it's kind of like the card says, very curious creatures, okay? They search, they dig, they look through absolutely everything in order to find food, okay? So I think maybe recently you've been doing a lot of searching for something. You know, for some of you that might be connected to your finances message in terms of, like, you've been looking for a job. So just like a raccoon, searching through every little nook and cranny it can to try to find what it's looking for. And for some of you, it might be a separate message, okay? Especially for those of you who are maybe looking for new friends or looking for a new romantic partner. For those of you that applies to, if you've been really searching and really working hard on that recently, that's another blessing that's coming. Someone new is entering your life. I will draw one more card from tarot to explain more about who that person is and kind of precisely what their role they play in your life is, because I think a lot of you might be asking, well, who is this, right? Okay, though just right off the bat, I can tell for some of you it's, romantic partner, or maybe like a new boss if it's a new job, you know, or new coworkers, new friends from that area, or 2, if you've been really striving to make more friends lately, Seems like a really good friend might be coming your way. Now, on to the Seven of Cups. We'll draw that card there for Tarot in a second. The Seven of Cups is all about separating dreams from reality. The traditional depiction of the card is someone looking at 7 different cups, and each one is something different. There's riches in one. There's love in another. There's career success in the next one. There's I think there's one of them even has a castle, which represents having the most awesome house, right? So it's kind of like different goals in life. I think, maybe you've been doing a lot of soul searching in terms of your goals, especially when it connects to your emotions, being the cup suit of cards, okay? Because cups is your feelings. It's water, okay? And so I think if you've been soul searching a lot in that area as well, pile number 2, you're also finding success that way. That might be another way curiosity has been playing a role in your life, okay? So whatever it is you've been trying to parse in terms of, well, what do I want to do next? What is the next thing I want to seek, okay? You're going to find victory with that. And what I mean with that in that context, pile 2, is you're going to find that solidified answer soon, okay? So for those of you that have been soul searching a lot, you're getting an answer soon. I'll also draw an extra tarot card on that for you just to gain some more insight. So first, we'll do the chair filled, someone new entering your life, and then we'll talk about the Seven of Cups of what it is that you might realize with that soul searching, okay? Let's shuffle the cards. Okay, spirit guides. Who is the new person entering their life? Can you tell me a little bit more about that? Thank you. Excuse me. Okay, 5 of Wands reversed. Okay. Could be someone that is... Well, the 5 of Wands reversed can represent someone that is not competitive. Also, I find it interesting that there's 2 white wands and 3 black wands, or brown. Kind of looks more brown, maybe. So it's almost like a kindred spirit in terms of especially your ambitions, because the 5 of Wands is the fire suit, which represents your ambitions, your creativity, your passions, things like that. I think this new person might be someone that's a kindred spirit in terms of what you're seeking in life regarding your ambitions. Okay? Someone who is with you, not against you, especially with the 5 of Wands reversed. Let's draw one more card on that. And the 2 of Cups. Okay, so the 2 of Cups tends to represent a really good, harmonious relationship. It tends to represent, too, if you're looking for love, a really fantastic sign. This is like one of the best love cards to get in the entire deck, other than probably, obviously, maybe the Lovers, right? Or the 10 of Cups. So whoever this person is, pile 2, there's someone that is very harmonious with you, and they're on your side, okay? Especially when it comes to ambitions. And for those of you looking for love, that's a very good sign that there might be a lover coming soon for a lot of you. I'm hearing, for some reason, 3.5 months. Within the next 3.5 months, they gave me the number 3.5. Something within that time span. So keep an eye out for that. If not a romantic partner, then at very least someone that they almost kind of feel like a soulmate, even if they're not romantic. Like a platonic soulmate, if not romantic, okay? And I don't say that lightly. Those of you who know my readings, I don't talk about soulmates and that stuff a lot, but that's what I'm hearing right now from your spirit guides. Now, okay, the soul searching. I said I would draw more cards on that. So, can you explain the 7 of Cups a little bit more, spirit guides, for pile number 2? Can you explain a little bit more about, like, what it is that they might find? What's their victory with the soul searching? Thank you. Interesting. Ace of Cups reversed. That can mean leaving a relationship behind, potentially, because Ace of Cups is usually a beginning, but reversed it might be the ending of something. It can also represent, like letting go of an emotion, letting go of a relationship. So maybe that's why you're finding someone new here, pile number 2. With the chair filled, someone new entering your life, is because you're letting something go. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean like a breakup. It doesn't necessarily mean completely like someone leaving your life permanently. It could just mean that, sometimes in life we focus more on certain people than others, and they kind of, it really just depends on what's going on in your life, where you're at, where they're at, things like that. So it feels like there might be someone that kind of takes a little bit of a back burner, and like you choose to maybe spend some like less time with them with this soul searching that we talked about with the 7 of Cups. And that's what opens up the room for this new person that is pivotal to your life path, I would almost say. I almost want to say maybe platonic or romantic soulmate, like I said. But, yeah, very interesting. So lots of really good things coming forward, pile 2. You have a lot more tangible of a reading. Pile number 1 today was completely like a philosophical, spiritual thing, which is, I also like those readings. Those are really cool, but you tend to have like a lot of, here are actual events coming your way type of messages today from your spirit guides. I don't know, maybe you've been asking a lot about these certain things. Okay, maybe you've been asking, I want a deep connection with somebody, can you help me? Or maybe you've been asking, I need a victory in terms of the release of finances and material security, in which case this is your spirit guides answering, pile 2. But in general, just to summarize everything so far, that we do have some other cards to pull. This period of life that you're entering in with this outcome of the 9 of Swords reversed is a time of reducing what has been worrying you. So if you've been going through a very chaotic time, if you've been going through a lot of mental stress recently, pile 2, you're now entering a phase of reduced anxiety, of reduced stress because of everything being thrown your way that is a positive blessing that we've talked about so far. Okay, now the other decks, before I ramble too much. Okay. All right, spirit guides, what else do you want to tell pile 2 about today? Thank you. We have the Soul Mirror Oracle. Here we go. Intuition, confused versus clear. Well, that just makes me think once again of the soul searching we talked about with the 7 of Cups. You're also entering a time of your life where it would be really good for you to lean on your intuition more if you don't already, pile 2. Maybe you kind of know you have abilities of some sort in terms of like predicting things, in terms of being intuitive. Maybe you just haven't tapped into them a lot. If so, then this means you're entering a phase where you are exploring those things more. It's almost kind of like High Priestess energy if you're familiar with that card in tarot. Also, it is a period of time where things become a lot more clear, especially with all the chaos that I've been seeing that you've been going through so far. And like I said, the outcome of a time of your life where there's less anxiety, less stress with that 9 of Swords we talked about. This is just like a double confirmation from spirit guides that, yes, you're entering a time of further clarity. Things are becoming a lot more clear, a lot less confusing. Okay. 2, if there's something that you've been kind of thinking about recently in terms of like you got a gut feeling about something that was really strong or really strong gut intuition, whatever you got that feeling about, you were correct, pile number 2. And on top of that, you're going to be seeing how you were correct here soon. Okay, I'm hearing the next week for some reason. Within the next week, there's something that you got a gut feeling about that's going to be proved to you soon in the next week. Okay? Within 7 days. And then let's grab your last deck for today. We have the beautiful Lantern Oracle, my favorite oracle of all time so far. Never lets me down. Spirit guides, anything else you want to tell pile 2 today about their message? What else do you want them to know? What do they need to know? Okay. And we have transitions. Speaking of a lot of changes, number 37, I'll read the fine text. It says, you have all of the inner resources you need to cross whatever bridges arise on your path. Okay, so very beautifully, and this is one of the many reasons I love this Oracle deck, pile 2. This Oracle deck represents different stages of life. So we have one of the older figures within this deck right now, and it's almost like it kind of reminds me of the death card in tarot in terms of, I mean, speaking of transitions, death usually means change in tarot, okay, because it's almost the imagery of her returning back to stardust. From stardust to stardust we go. So this represents that there's a lot of really positive change coming. I mean, we've already talked about it kind of ad nauseum, like so much good stuff coming your way, like new relationship, new financial opportunities in terms of like the release of funds, victories, things like that. But in general, like in what's going on in your life here soon, you might come across a few I don't want to say obstacles. They're not obstacles, pile 2. You might come across a few little hitches here and there, a few little speed bumps, but like the card says, you have all the resources you need to cross whatever bridges arise on your path. Okay, so just know that if you are going through a period of time like that right now, maybe you have been just making a lot of changes and transitions, you're going to weather through them very smoothly from here on out. Maybe that's also part of what the reduced anxiety is all about, is because it's like you're going to realize, oh, okay, like it was a lot more bumpy before, but now I'm at the point where like the change is going to be a lot smoother. Like there's going to be a lot less things in your way, okay? And then just a beautiful card on top of it. Like I said, from stardust to stardust. So when change does come along in the next few months or so here, pile 2, just know that it is change for the better. Because I think it's change enacted upon or fueled by the clarity that you'll be receiving about like things from your intuition, you know, the clarity about like, you know, this new person entering your life we talked about, the victories you'll be seizing, that 6 of Wands we talked about earlier as well. Naturally, those things bring a lot of change, but they're positive changes. Okay? And I think to end the reading today, I want to draw just one more tarot card on your transitions card. I want to know if they have any specific change that they want to either give you a heads up about or explain maybe some advice on. Can you give me one more clarifying card, Spirit Guides of pile 2, for the transitions card? Thank you. What else do you want to say? The 4 of Swords reversed. Things becoming more active. Okay, so whatever in your life has felt inactive recently, pile 2, that's the change coming, is it's going to become active, okay? Like I said, for some of you that might be a repetitive message of like, say, you know, like if you've been waiting on a release of funds, that's like inactivity towards activity, right? When that release comes. Same thing too if you've been in a bit of a dry spell with, say, romantic relationships. That being inactive now becomes active, okay? Things like that, whatever has been seemingly hibernating in your life recently, that's going to awaken, and that's the change that they're mostly talking about, okay? So be aware of those things. But like I said, just keep in mind in the end, they're always positive changes from what I'm hearing from your spirit guides here. So yeah, just to summarize everything so far, lots of blessings, as I said. You know, stay curious, stay exploring, welcome new people in your life, because I think there's someone really pivotal to your life path and your soul coming in soon. When we talked about the chair filled earlier, lots of successes coming your way. It's a pretty good forecast in general. I see here pile 2. So I think, you know, especially because of the energy of the 9 of Swords earlier that we saw reversed, I think your spirit guides wanted to come forward to you today to give you a little bit more of a little balm of the soul type reading, a little encouragement type reading today is kind of how I would summarize everything that we've talked about so far. Just knowing that, you know, things will become clearer, things are going to smoothen out, things are going to look up, things like that. Beautiful reading for today. So that's what I'll leave you with, pile number 2. Thank you so much for watching your reading today on my channel. If you liked it and if it resonated, and especially if it helped you, please like the video itself. Please comment down below. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not done so yet. As I always say, that helps me out immeasurably, which helps me provide more readings for both you and others for free in the future on this channel, and keeps the dream of the channel alive itself. And as is our tradition, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, full of many blessings. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye, pile 2. Hello there, my wonderful pile number 3. Welcome to your spirit guide message reading for today. And of course, as you recall, you were drawn to the very cute salamander and black pepper with the tagline or keyword of inspiration. And of course, as I always think when I look at this card, the phrase comes to mind, variety is the spice of life. Because salamanders typically represent fire. And black pepper, as we know, is a very common spice. So maybe you've been having a creative project recently that you've been working on. Maybe you've been looking for inspiration of some sort. Maybe something to kind of get your verve back. To confirm, let's look at some of your other cards. We're going to draw and begin with a tarot spread as well as some oracle cards. So calling on your spirit guides, pile 3. If you could tell us a little bit more about what it is you want to talk to pile 3 about today. Thank you. What's going on? Okay, that one was like about ready to fly out. We'll take it. Okay, nothing else was a flyer, so we'll keep going with that. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And of course, we have tea leaves. I'm going to grab 2 of these at the very least. Let's cross our fingers for many blessings. Well, look at that. We have an announcement at least. Many blessings coming your way. Let's see. An announcement of some sort. I don't know if some of you are graduating or you have kids that are graduating here soon. I know it's that time of year, pile number 3. Especially around, end of May if you're watching this when it uploads. A lot of people are graduating right now. Something with an announcement though in general. Okay, so we already revealed your bell. Then we have the beetle. Good fortune. Well, that's pretty good to get right off the bat. So, seems like something lucky is coming your way. I also just want to draw 2 more tarot cards on each of these. I'm already just kind of feeling drawn that way. Spirit guides, 1 card on bell, 1 card on good fortune with the beetle. Thank you. Okay, we got the bell and we got the beetle. Beautiful. So, let's unveil those first. With the bell today, we have the 10 of Pentacles reversed. Okay, so something to do with inheritance or something to do with family legacy, things passed down. Maybe even someone announcing something where they're going to go a different way than their family did. Especially for those of you that maybe have kids that are around college age, or if you are currently college age. Of course, we have all ages on this channel. Maybe you are going to hear an announcement regarding something that with family or like going against the tradition of what your family is. That's how I typically see the 10 of Pentacles. Okay, maybe even moving away from family in some way, or away, I don't want to say like away from family necessarily, but potentially like away from the traditional area that your family lived in. Maybe going abroad. Something like that. And then with good fortune, the tarot card explaining that was the Hermit reversed. Okay. Hermit reversed tends to represent coming out of our shell. It tends to represent bringing forth light that we gathered within the dark. Okay, so within more shadowy eras of our life, bring the wisdom of light out of those. Or even general, literally, it can mean you've been more introverted. Now you're going to be entering a time of good fortune regarding coming out of your shell. Speaking of beetles being in shells, right? They have an exoskeleton. That is their shell. Interesting. So far pretty multifaceted. We'll explain those a little bit more in depth. But on a surface level, that's what's popping out so far. We also have your main spread. We've got the 2 of Swords reversed. Okay. Needing to make a choice of some sort. Maybe recently you've been struggling between making a certain important choice. That's typically what the 2 of Swords reversed represents. We've got the 5 of Cups, which tends to represent loss or grief. However, the silver lining with this card is there's still 2 cups on the other side that are upturned. They're not all broken. Sometimes we just get so caught in loss and grief that we don't notice it. So 2 of Swords reversed, 5 of Cups. Heart of the matter is the 9 of Cups reversed, okay? Something to do with a wish that has been averted from you. Maybe that's what caused the sorrow, is there's something you were really wishing for and it got away from you. Or you've been asking the universe, like, I want to manifest this. You've been asking your spirit guides, please give me this thing, and you haven't heard an answer, and so you're feeling kind of like lacking hope on it. But then we've got the 3 of Cups, group celebrations, social events, kindred spirits, and we've got the Explorer, or as it's known in most decks, the Knight of Pentacles, taking steady, slow and steady progress towards our goals, especially in terms of finances or career. Also, just a really good forecast is the final outcome card for everything that's been going on regarding career or finances for you lately. So you have a very multifaceted message today, pile 3. So I'm going to try to cover every single area I'm seeing. Let's see, where do I want to start first? Well, let's start with your tarot spread. We talked about this a little bit already. So you've been going through something recently. Your spirit guides want to talk to you about where you've been having trouble making a choice. Okay, that's the Two of Swords reversed. We talked about that already a little bit. And I think it's because you've been going through a time of sorrow over something not coming your way that you were wishing for. That's the Five of Cups combined with the Nine of Cups reversed, especially the Nine of Cups being the central card, pile 3. That's what I call the heart of the matter in my particular spread I like to use, okay? So maybe recently, in general, you've just been feeling a lot of disappointments. You've been feeling a lot of, like, your hopes have been dashed. Things that you've been wanting to manifest just have not been coming your way. You're asking the universe, like, hey, come on, where's the stuff I've been asking for? I mean, and we all know it's not, like writing down what you want on your list to Santa like you did when you were a kid. But at the same time, sometimes it really feels like the universe is against us, or sometimes it really feels like the universe is just not listening, or our spirit guides aren't hearing us. But of course, we know they always hear us. Just because we're hearing silence doesn't mean that we're not getting an answer. Because what I'll tell you, pile number 3, is you have really good outlook from here on out. Okay? I don't know precisely for every single one of you what it is that you've been struggling with a choice after your hopes have been dashed. But in either case, whatever it is for you specifically, it's going to be resolved and fixed in a positive way, and it's going to be delivered to you in a vehicle of some sort of social event here with the Three of Cups in the near future, or a group of people. That's another interpretation of the Three of Cups. It's also something that's going to come through the hard work that you've been doing. That's what an Explorer or a Knight of Pentacles is all about. That is the very diligent worker type card. If you were to think of an archetype for the Knight of Pentacles, it would be someone who is like never cuts corners. They're someone who always gets things done the right way, even if it's slower, even if it isn't as fast, it gets there. That's kind of also an overarching message of everything that you've been asking for. Is the universe saying, hey, wait a minute, I'm having a Knight of Pentacles moment. Slow and steady wins the race. I know it sucks that you've been having to wait for this wish to come true. I understand. You want to manifest it. But hold on, I'm still cooking. Okay, like, just not to be cheesy, but that's what I'm hearing is, I don't know if maybe one of your spirit guides tends to be kind of cheeky, but have a sense of humor, but that's what I'm hearing is, like, literally the universe saying with the Knight of Pentacles, okay, let me cook. There's something good coming, but you have to wait for divine timing for it to come your way, all right? Through the avenue of a group or a social event, and after you've been diligently, patiently waiting. They're also acknowledging your patience, pile 3. They're like, I know you've been waiting. I understand. I get it. It's coming. Okay, especially too because you have the announcement card and you have good fortune as part of your oracle cards today. And two, combining that with the Hermit reversed with the good fortune and the Three of Cups, because those kind of tend to be similar, right? We have a card of social events and groups, and we have a card of coming out of our shell and being less introverted, okay? Especially for those of you who've been wanting to make connections in some sort of manner. Positive outlook for that coming soon. I'm hearing 1.5 months for some reason. 1.5 keeps coming up as the number intuitively, so within the next month and a half or so, I'm hearing something positive in that area for those of you looking for more connections, either in terms of, platonic, romantic, maybe even work-type connections. That might be something that fulfills the wish that you've been looking for. Maybe it was something with work that you've been wishing for, or money, things like that. But in general, it would be a good idea, in order to access this fortune that's waiting for you, pile 3, to come out of your shell more, to be more extroverted or outgoing in a way. If you get any invites within the next month or two or so, pile 3, social event invites, especially if it's something related to a wish of yours, please do not hesitate to take the invite and go with it, or to go to whatever that social event is. So that's one little piece of advice they're giving you is please go to social events that you're invited to if they're related to the thing that you've been wishing for. Or you think that could potentially be an avenue for the thing that you're wishing for. Say, like, you've been looking for maybe a new romantic partner, okay? And you're like, oh, I want to meet people. I want to get out there and see who's out there. Take the invites, okay? Or same thing with maybe you've been trying to find greater success and progress in your career. Take the invite to like a work convention related thing, or like a networking related event. Something along those lines. Keep an eye out for those things. And that announcement is very interesting Because like I said, with the Ten of Pentacles reversed as the clarifier card, it's like letting go of tradition. It's about, sometimes the Ten of Pentacles can represent inheritance. Maybe you've been waiting on an inheritance of some sort, pile 3. If that's the case and the inheritance has had some sort of like roadblock or obstacles, you're going to get an announcement about that soon. Like I said, for some of you, it might be an announcement related to, I said this very earlier, so I'll just repeat it shortly, just, you know, after everything I've said so far, I kind of got lost in the sauce, right? For those of you that are currently in school and you're waiting for some sort of announcement, that's a really good tiding there. Same thing too, or if you have if you have children that are of that age, right? There's going to be an announcement coming regarding that, especially if they're going in a direction that goes against the way that your family has always done things, okay? Maybe they're the first to get a degree in your family line, or maybe they're the first to do that particular career in your family line. There's some announcement coming forward with that, okay? I haven't even talked about your pile leader yet. We have the Salamander and Black Pepper, excuse me, with inspiration. Let me look at that for a moment here, pile 3. Inspiration. And the quote, like I said, that came out when I first looked at it was, "Variety is the spice of life." So I think that if you're looking for inspiration in any way, pile 3, maybe some of you are creative people and you've been hitting some writer's block or artist's block, you know, insert your medium here, whatever you like to do to express yourself and your soul. Look for inspiration in doing things differently or different routines or doing things with variety. For example, this sounds really odd, but for some reason, for some of you, I'm hearing a message about, like, say you always take a certain route home from work, or you always take a certain route to work, or to your doctor's office, or insert something here that you tend to go to a lot. Try a different route. Try a scenic route. There's something there I'm hearing for some of you that there might be some inspiration by trying a different routine than your typical process of your day-to-day, what goes on. Same thing too, like maybe if you have a routine at work where you always get coffee right after you get there, or before you get there, maybe you stop at a coffee shop. Get something different. Get tea. Get a sparkling like I'm trying to think of the coffee shops near me. They have like sparkling teas. Get a sparkling tea instead of coffee. Or go to a restaurant. You always order this one thing. Try a different thing that time. Try new things within the next few months or so, because for some reason I'm hearing there's something there that's going to give a little bit of an inspiration to you that's necessary for something that you're trying to accomplish. Okay? Which is really odd. I don't think I've ever had a reading before where it was literally like, try different foods, but or different routes to work or whatever, wherever your routine is going. But I think that will help with something. I'm hearing it intuitively, so I'm just going to say it. Okay. Let's look at your other cards. I want to draw your other oracle decks. We have 2 of them left today. Let's ask the Soul Mirror Oracle. Spirit guides, anything else you want to talk to pile 3 today about? Okay, cycles. Regressed versus evolved. And a very, very cute black cat. I love black cats. I have one. I'm biased for them because of that. So, cycle is all about things happening in circles. Things happening repetitively. The cycle of seasons. We have the cycle of the year. We have the cycle of the moon, as depicted on the card. I'm going to draw one tarot card to clarify that. What do you mean by cycle, spirit guides? I'm hearing for some of you there's something from your childhood that's going to repeat. That's the intuitive message coming forward, but we have the 6 of Swords, which is the card of moving on, especially physically. The card of moving on, moving to better places, better pastures. I don't know if you're moving away from your typical, like, you might be a person that kind of stayed in the same, like, city or town or village or, like, same county or state or, you know, insert however the land divisions work in your particular country. Like, you've stayed there for your whole life and, like, there's a new cycle coming where you're moving. Or you're going to have an opportunity to do so. So for some of you, if that's related to your work, it might be like a promotion, but it's offered somewhere else rather than the building you currently work at. It could also mean, in terms of cycle... Let me look at that for a moment. Apologies for just a moment of silence here. There's something they're saying about the way that you emotionally process things. That's also going to improve here within the next few months, pile 3. It's something about the way of how you move forward from setbacks or how you move forward from obstacles that's going to evolve and be more constructive than the way it was before. I think I'm hearing a lot of it is because of the blessings that are coming, like especially with the wish that so far feels like the answer has not been given to you by the universe. It's like that will give you a bit of pep in your step that will help you feel like more optimistic about things rather than pessimistic. Especially like maybe you've been feeling quite pessimistic lately, pile 3. And if so, it's like you're making progress forward and breaking that cycle of pessimism, and also like just breaking cycles in general, moving forward. And when I brought up the childhood thing, because it's like, I think you're repeating a cycle from childhood I mentioned before. You're not just repeating it, you're breaking it. I don't know if there's like a coping mechanism that you've had since childhood. And that's maybe maybe pessimism is kind of a coping mechanism for you, pile 3. So for those of you where it is, it's like there's something coming that's going to break that. I think it is because of the wish that's granted, but in general, it's like the spirit guides are saying, like, this is your spiritual growth here in the next few months. It's something to do with breaking those cycles from childhood and moving forward. Okay. So if you're looking for like some sort of direction in terms of like where to spiritually grow or like emotionally focus here in the next 2 months, think about patterns that you have from childhood that you would like to break and move forward from, especially when it comes to coping mechanisms. Okay. That's also another really good avenue to move down in terms of, if you want to do some like self-improvement and like shadow work and like spiritual development things within the next few months, that's what they recommend you do. There's something they're nudging you in that direction for, okay? And then last but not least, we have my favorite oracle of all time, at least thus far, the Lantern Oracle. Anything else you want to say to our wonderful pile 3 spirit guides? Thank you. Well, that was quite quick. We have, title drop, Lantern, the last card. Consciousness is light. Now, being the last card in the entire deck, pile 3, this tends to represent cycles completed. Speaking of cycles, it also technically represents, and I have to do a little bit of background about the deck. So this deck is, it's a deck of people at different stages of life. We have the Maiden, the Mother, and the Crone. They're all female figures, so it's kind of separated into those 3 different cycles. Or stages of life, I should say. And this particular card is like the culmination of all of them. That's why you can't really even like figure out what her age is. Like, yeah, she kind of looks young in body, but like her hair kind of looks like it's more whitened, like it's older, right? Same thing, it's kind of golden as well, which is, it's more of a spiritual coloring and like appearance to her. And even though she's blindfolded, she's able to see because she has the lanterns of the wisdom that she's gathered throughout her entire life. So, I mean, that's like what I'm hearing too it's very similar to the message of the cycles. Okay. Where it's like you completing and moving forward beyond these cycles because it's a culmination of a lot of lessons that you've learned. Okay. So if you get a little bit of deja vu in the next 2 months, pile 3, in terms of, I feel like I've been through this before in my life. Why am I revisiting this again? Like, you might ask the universe, like, why are you throwing this thing my way again? I thought I already learned this lesson. It's because it's almost like the final test on a lot of things that you've been learning. Okay, the culmination of a lot of different life lessons. It almost feels like the end chapter of a certain, or I should say it's like the end of a certain chapter within the book of your life. Okay, so it's like, I don't know if you're resolving a lot of things, you're kind of like tying a lot of things off before you move on into like a new adventure. Maybe that's where like the 6 of Swords comes in, because it's like the forward momentum card, moving things even physically sometimes towards more positive pastures. But I do see a lot of good forward momentum then. A lot of good forward movement. Culmination of lessons, as I said, was one term I already used. Very beautiful card. Consciousness is light. It's the card of knowing. I feel like your intuition is going to be really strong here in the next 2 months as well, pile 3, because of that card. So lean on your intuition a lot. Just like she has her blindfold, she doesn't need her eyes to see. She follows her gut rather than her vision. So follow your gut a lot as well. So quite the multifaceted reading today, pile number 3. We kind of were all over the board. We had announcements, good fortunes, things about the things you've been wishing for, forward momentum, even advice in terms of even just trying different foods or trying different routines. So I hope at least part of it resonated with some of you, right? Even though it was kind of all over the board, you know. Some of you might completely resonate, and if so, you know, I hope that the video helped you. I hope that the reading resonated with you. I hope that, you liked it, of course. And if you did, please like the video itself. Please comment down below your story. Please subscribe to Lone Pine Tarot if you have not done so already. That just helps me out a little bit, which helps me provide more readings for free for both you and others in the future, as well as supports the dream of this channel in bringing more spiritual healing to the world. And as is our tradition, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye, pile 3.